My name is Azra Akšamija. I'm an artist and architectural historian, and my artwork is called Abundance and Scarcity. So the artwork is inspired by the Saudi bisht. I was researching its history, making process, and found it very interesting how the bisht is a form of cultural shelter, right? So there's memory and the tradition in it, but it's also something that protects you from the elements. And I made a new interpretation of the bisht, giving it some both aesthetic and maybe cultural meanings. One interpretation is this shading canopy that is based on the module of the bisht, and the other is this, I call it bishti. It's a wearable piece. It's a kind of small bisht based on a half of a traditional bisht. The material I used is the felt from the Islamic Art Biennale. So we recycle the felt. So on the outside you have this felt, and on the inside you have the refugee blanket. So this material tension of the waste and scarcity is also conceptual, both pointing at the kind of idea of a cultural shelter, that art and culture provide space where we can feel safe, and that also provide space for reflection. Where are we going? So I find the title After Rain really beautiful and poetic, and of course after rain there's all this smell and scent and a kind of transformation of the desert into a maybe blooming landscape, right? So we played also with this idea in this piece. You see in these bowls are little scent hatchets, and they include desert plants like lavender, for example, desert rose, that I dried and are also producing that scent. So when it rained here at the Biennale, you were passing through and you could really, smell that after rain smell. Conceptually, on the personal level, I think a lot about displacement, about environmental crisis, and this piece talks in a maybe poetic and beautiful way about heavy subjects like refugees, war, heritage, invites us to contemplate on how do we deal with our resources, limited resources of the globe for the future, and how we don't think about only ourselves, but also others who are less fortunate. Well, this piece is also a celebration of Saudi culture, right? So there's inspiration from the bisht, but also there's the inspiration from the sadu weaving. The light patterns that you see on the ground are really animated in a kind of spectacle of light. With that, I'm pointing at the need to preserve the culture. Saudi Arabia is going through a huge and very rapid transformation, not to forget the past and not to forget the culture, but really to celebrate it and create, new forms of heritage in the future. There is a lot of richness here, especially when we think about sustainability and environmentally conscious practices that are rooted in Saudi own culture. And I think, relearning that and preserving it and not forgetting it, it will be important ingredient for the society in the future.